All right, everyone. Welcome to the first Getting to Know podcast of 2025-2026. And we have a special guest here today, Greensboro Volleyball's Morgan Mayfield. Morgan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So on the Getting to Know podcast, for those that haven't seen any of our podcasts before, we love to have players or coaches here at Greensboro College that we just want to get to know more about. These players and coaches, they've accomplished a lot, and we want to just hear their stories. So, Morgan, we're thankful that you're here, and I think we're going to have a really fun time, getting to know you a little bit today. So, first question that we always ask is just literally, where'd you grow up? Where are you from? And just kind of tell us a little bit about, kind of your upbringing.
So I'm from Mount Airy, North Carolina, the good old Mayberry.
Yes. Yes. Okay, before you go into that, how many times have you been to is it like in there like a Mayberry museum or something around there, like with the old like Andy Griffith police cars and things like that? Yeah.
There's stuff everywhere in Mayberry.
That's awesome.
But they do the taxi drives through and like the police cars.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Can you whistle the theme song? I'm not asking you to. I'm just curious if you can.
That would make this podcast a whole lot better.
Well, I can't whistle in general, so.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. I can't either.
I know the beat of it. But.
Yeah, there you go. I've been to Mount Airy once, and we went to like where the kind of police cars and stuff is. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, we went there and kind of did the museum and all that sort of thing.
That's cool. So Mount Airy, it's a really small town.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know like what the population is or somewhere around? No, it's really small. I know that.
You can look it up.
Yeah, we could do a quick Google search. No, Mount Airy is a really small town. It's a cool little town though. We went, I guess probably over a decade now. But it's a neat little place. If you ever get to go, it's a neat place. But
as of 2024, it's 10,500.
Perfect, 10,500. So awesome, yeah. So you tell us a little bit about kind of like your family, and you got any siblings, or just kind of tell us a little bit about your family background.
Okay, yeah. So we actually live in Dobson.
Okay.
So we live like outside in the country area.
Yeah.
We have fields and stuff around our house. It's like 25 minutes to get to town every day. So yeah, I have a sister and a brother. They're both older than me, so I'm the baby of the family. And my parents. So my mom works at Mount Airy High School, and she's the athletic director. She went to Catawba where she played basketball, and she's in the Hall of Fame there.
Sweet.
So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. She's also in the Hall of Fame in Mount Airy as well. So
awesome. Now, so you said she played basketball.
Yeah, Catawba.
Okay, cool. Did she play volleyball at all growing up?
Yeah, she played volleyball, basketball, and softball.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now you played basketball in high school too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. She's a multi-sport athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get you to play basketball here, but it just
no. It takes up my winter break.
That's true. That's a good point. But no, so tell me a little bit about your siblings. You said they're both older, right? Did they play any sports growing up?
Yeah, so my sister, she's 5 years older than me. She played basketball, volleyball, and ran track. And then she went to Campbell University and ran track for 2 years, and then was in their pharmacy program.
Okay.
So now she's a pharmacist.
Yeah.
And then my brother, he played football, baseball, and ran track as well. And then he went to Catawba, and he ran track for a year there. So
okay, that's awesome.
They're both tall and had the runner in them. Not me.
You got the athletic ability though too. That's really cool background. I didn't know that. Yeah. So you've got a very athletic family.
Mm-hmm.
That's really neat. I wanted to ask you about this too. We'll kind of get into your high school career in a second, but I wanted to ask you, Jalen Templeton is also from Mount Airy.
Right.
Now, y'all didn't go to the same high school, right?
No, but we grew up playing club together.
Okay, cool. So you played on the same club team. Now, did you play against each other in high school?
Yes.
Cool. How did that go? Did you win? That's the main thing.
I knew her senior year we beat them in 5 sets when we played at Mount Airy.
There you go.
But I think every other time every other time they beat us.
You can't fist pump that. Jalen's gonna watch
No,
this.
no,
and see
Jalen's gonna.
that.
Yeah, she's gonna. Yeah.
She went to the high school that I was supposed to go to.
Okay.
The district I lived in, but then she lived in Mount Airy and was supposed to go to the high school I went to.
Interesting.
So it kind of
Okay.
flip flop.
Yeah, flip flop. That's awesome. Well, Kendrick, do you want to kind of get into her high school career?
So obviously a very athletic family, and it seems like everybody kind of had dabbled in all sorts of different sports. Tell us a little bit about kind of how you got started with volleyball and what really set you up for making that your sport number one, if you will.
Well, so I started basketball when I was super young. That was the first sport I played. And it was like when you were younger, you could play travel basketball, but like travel volleyball, you didn't really play until you were like in middle school, I guess, as a club sport. But so I started basketball, and then I played rec league like when I was younger, at our community center. And my sister also played, and my mother played. So like it was kind of, I'd hit around and stuff. But when I started playing, I really liked it. And then I started early, and I played club, and I played on the team above me, and I played for a little club out of my hometown. It was called Surrey Storm. That's when I played with Jalen. We played when we were young. And I really love volleyball, like everything about it. And then as I kind of got out of middle school into high school, basketball kind of just was like, I was just playing it to play it because I'd been playing it for so long, but volleyball I knew is what I was really focused on, and I really love volleyball.
Awesome. So Jalen, is she a year older than you?
Yes.
Okay. So it kind of leads into my next question. Is she one of the reasons that you came to Greensboro, or how did it kind of play out where, you play club with her? Obviously you play through high school. Tell us a little bit about how you ended up finding Greensboro and ultimately coming to Greensboro to play.
Well, me and Jalen played like when we were in middle school, and then when we got to high school, we both went to different clubs, and so we didn't really communicate much during that time.
Okay.
And so then I asked her a little bit before I came to Greensboro what she thought about it, if she liked it and everything, the team and the coaches, and she loved it and everything. So that was fun, but we didn't really play with each other during high school. But Greensboro, so Coach Troop was at Greensboro, and he came to my high school to do what would you call it? He did a camp with us.
Yeah.
And so he had done that my junior year and my senior year. He had done a camp. And Chuck Morris, who's also really close with Troop. He was he coached my sister actually.
Okay.
So yeah, I never played for him, and now he's back coaching at Mount Airy.
Yeah.
He just skipped the 4 years I was there.
I don't want to coach Morgan.
Yeah. But yeah, we were really close with him, and so it kind of was just like a communication thing. Like he finally told me my senior year that he was interested in me. I came down for a visit. He offered me when I came on the visit, and then I kind of was in the space of like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do with my career wise. Like, I don't know what I want to study. So I kind of felt I'd reached out to some colleges, but I wasn't really big on the recruiting. I didn't do as much as I should because I felt like I didn't know what to do. When my mom played, obviously that was that was a longer time ago than it is now. And so things are different.
Now, did you know that you wanted to play in college, or were you kind of on the fence about even doing that?
Well, I did want to play volleyball, but it was more of the fact, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go to, like, a Surrey community college. Because at one point I was thinking about doing cosmetology, but it was either that or it was coming to Greensboro. So for a long time, that was on my mind. Which one do I want to do? And I didn't talk to Coach for a couple of months. And then finally I reached out and I was like, I want to play. Like, I can't stop now. And everything I've heard about Greensboro is good thing, positive things. The team was so sweet when I met them. And so I finally told him. And he was like, we have a couple of DSs already committed, but you're more like the offer's still there. We'd love to have you. And so then I committed. I think it was like in April of my senior year. So it was a little late of a commitment, but.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, we'll get into your career accomplishments, here soon, but it's cool to kind of hear the backstory, of how you got here and what other options, that you had. So that's pretty neat. Um, Going back to club ball just for a second, I thought it was interesting what you said because it was kind of the same thing. So my sister played here, and it was the same thing. Like she played club, but she didn't really start till seventh grade, I think, playing volleyball. Has that changed at all? Do you know, like, are girls starting to play at a younger age, or is it still kind of like you don't really play volleyball until you get to like that middle school age?
Well, I played before middle school, but that was just at the community center.
Right.
So like the club, so like for basketball for AAU, you started as like you were young.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you played, you
Mhm.
traveled. But I felt like during volleyball, like it wasn't the same. You only started kind of when you were in that middle school age. And before that, you would just play like a rec league that you
Right.
had, like or instructional kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they have younger teams. But it was also a challenge being in a small town, Mount Airy, and like the clubs were kind of like stopping. They weren't as big. People just were going to like Winston clubs and that kind of thing. So they shrunk, and so they finally went away with the club that I grew up playing in, basketball and volleyball wise. And so I ended up having to go to Winston to play travel during my high school.
Okay.
So,
Awesome. Good deal. I know a lot of athletes, they'll play club. It's just volleyball is very interesting because, like you said, basketball, baseball, even softball. There's other sports that like you start at a young age.
Soccer.
Yeah, soccer. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
soccer. And volleyball is just one of those sports. I don't know if it's just because of the game itself, because you have that net, and like
right.
if you're, sometimes you're not strong enough when you're in fifth, sixth grade to get it over the net. So it's like, I guess it makes sense that they start that late, but it's interesting just because other sports, they kind of start earlier on. Before we get to the next question, and this is, so one thing that happens here is I get questions that just pop in my mind. So I'll just go off script and just start asking questions.
Yeah.
Did you have
let's just close this.
close the computer. When you were coming up, like, did you have any players or any kind of like role model per se in volleyball that you kind of looked up to and kind of wanted to model yourself after?
That's a good question. I would say growing up, I didn't really watch volleyball that much.
Okay.
I never really watched college, and it's kind of gotten bigger, I would say, as I've gotten older and in college. And now I'm like obsessed with watching it. I really love watching Nebraska play.
Yeah.
They're just so good. It's crazy to watch.
I watched their match against Michigan the other day.
Yeah.
I was telling Kendrick the other day, I think I was watching highlights, and I think it was Nebraska. I mean, they have a 6'5" setter. Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
The athletes and the height and how high they can jump.
Right.
But the funny thing is, like, at the Division III level, the main difference is just height.
Height.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, our team is a perfect example. Like, we have some unbelievable players. It's just, and like, if they were taller, they would
Right.
probably be in Division I.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I said on the broadcast at one particular point in the Mary Baldwin match, Shiflett had just hammered one across for a point, and I said, I do not want to be on the wrong side of that.
But even
Yeah.
whether it's a hitter like Peyton or Kelsey, but then you watch you and Grace, like the reaction time is just ridiculous. Like I have
Right.
no idea, because I was at a school, just K through 12 school, so I was the athletic director, and I would practice with volleyball some. I have no idea how you return some of those hits. How did you, like, especially as you got to come up through middle school and high school, like, is it just repetition that helps you with that? Because like I don't, like, the reaction time you have to have is just ridiculous.
Well, I was always a setter
Okay.
until I was a setter through my freshman year of high school, and then club, I would say, is what really changed me into passing. I was just short, so like setting just wasn't really. I guess the shorter person always passes. I could still set, but like usually I don't know. It depends. If you run a 5-1, then I had no chance because I wasn't going to be on the front row blocking.
Yeah.
So I got moved switched to libero, and then that's what I played in high school so I guess I played 3 years of high school passing, and then same with club. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Well, I'll kind of bounce off of that though, because one of the things I was curious about, you talked about how your mom had played and growing up in an athletic family. Here, obviously, you can have structured practices, workouts, that sort of thing. But what was that like growing up, especially in middle school, where you had a club team, but there wasn't like a school structured team? Did your mom like coach you off the court and kind of help you get better, or who did you look to kind of work on drills and help coach you along?
Well, I did play volleyball in middle school too, at the school as well.
Okay.
Is that yeah? But my dad did coach me in middle school, at the school, so he knows. I mean, he loves volleyball as well. And fun fact, actually, my parents met at Ocean Lakes on the volleyball courts.
It was meant to be.
They were playing on the sand volleyball courts, and that's where they met. So that's a fun fact.
It was meant to be that you played volleyball.
Yep.
Yeah. And another fun fact is my mom was a middle.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you said earlier you didn't get the height.
No.
So do your parents kind of look back at your game film and say, hey, you should do this better or try doing this? What kind of
I actually, my mom was more hard on me on basketball.
Okay.
Because she was my basketball coach in high school.
Sure.
Volleyball-wise, I feel like they were never the type of parents that were hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have such a high expectation for myself. Like, I know if I do something wrong or, like, if I'm not having a good game, like, I know that myself.
Right.
I don't need them to tell me. And, like, even if they do, they weren't really coaches in that aspect. They were more of, like, it's okay. Like, they were very chill parents. So I am really grateful for that because, some parents is just.
Oh, yeah.
It gets bad.
That could be a whole different conversation.
They kind of knew when to turn the switch off from being coach to being mom and dad. Yeah.
Well, sometimes my mom would try to say stuff after high school, and it would just lead to an argument because we're the same type of person.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I know. You don't have to tell me.
That's hilarious.
I know I played bad. It's okay.
Yep, I know exactly. I know that.
But now, especially in college, they don't.
Yeah.
That's
They
awesome.
always look
Well,
at
you're
the
too
positive.
good now. So
Kendrick, I was gonna say it's hard to find a bad game from her because she was
Oh,
setting
trust
all
me,
sorts
I
of
find-
records.
I find the bad games.
you're fourth all time in career digs. Why aren't you higher up that list?
Yeah, come
Right,
on, Morgan, hurry
right.
up, hurry up. Switching gears a little bit before we turn back to volleyball, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was what you're involved in outside of volleyball here at Greensboro.
Yeah.
One of the things that I see like on Instagram, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is it called the Greensboro College Women of God? Is that right?
Yeah, GC Women of
GC
God.
Women, yeah. Which is super cool. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved?
Yeah. So coming in my freshman year, I was really big in my faith. I grew up going to church each Sunday. My family, very religious Christians. So coming into college, it was very eye-opening just because I felt like I just didn't fit in that kind of, value, I guess. Everyone, just does different things necessarily, the college life. But that just wasn't for me. But one day, me and DK were really close my freshman year as well. We also had the same values and beliefs. She was a Christian as well. And so one day she was like, oh, one of my teammates, Maddie's in the student center. And I think they were studying together or something. And so she was like, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah. And so that's how me and Madison Wildman, actually started talking and getting really close with each other. That was the first time we had ever talked. We all went to McDonald's, and we were still just talking about our faith and, our love for God together. And that's something that all three of us really bonded over. And then we were talking, and we were like, how awesome would it be if we did a women's Bible study? And so us three got together, and we went to Dr. Brewer, and we planned it. We emailed him, and he was a big help. And he kind of told us, what we could do. And so then we started our own little Bible study, and we came up with the name of GC Women of God. And then from there, and we just, kept planning meetings and yeah.
No, that's awesome, Morgan. It's cool to see young people be able to talk about their faith and do it outwardly and with grace. So that's great, and I hope that you guys continue to grow.
Right.
As many as God wants you guys to have.
Yes. So do you want to plug it? Social media. Where can people find more information
Yeah, you
on
can
that?
follow us on
Perfect.
Instagram at GC Women of God.
Perfect plug.
We
Perfect
post
plug.
all of our upcoming meetings and like what we talked about, and we have fun little meetings that we plan. So yeah, give
Where
us
do
a
you
follow.
like on campus? Do you guys normally meet at the same spot, or do y'all?
We meet usually in the student center.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and we meet every other week, bi-weekly.
Okay. Good deal.
And I think one of the other things, and I'll ask you this, obviously, be as discreet or vague or whatever as you need to be, but I feel like that, especially having a student-run ministry group like you guys have, it allows for openness and vulnerability in a way that you don't necessarily
Right.
get with student and adult leading kind of thing. And so how has that been, just kind of being able to meet and to be like, look, we're completely comfortable hey, I've been dealing with this, or being able to talk about things that everybody can relate to.
Yeah, I feel like, myself included, like all of us, I feel like a lot of people are feeling comfortable in that space. They share, what they're going through, what their struggles, and I feel like it's just a way, to give it to God. It's You need to be supported with other believers as well. They can also help you overcome, challenges or difficulties. And just knowing like, hey, we can just pray about it. Like it just has a sense of relief as well. So
Awesome. Is there anything else that you've been involved with that have been able to kind of dabble in while at GC? Any clubs or anything like that?
No.
No.
I don't think I'm in any other clubs.
Gotcha.
I was had to think. I was like, am I?
Yeah. No. Cool.
Well, here,
Cool.
let me twist it around a little bit. I know you go home on the weekends, which is awesome. I love that you're
Right.
close enough to be able to do that. Are there any other on-campus activities you enjoy, going out to other sporting events or seeing any other like anything with the theater? I don't know what your cup of tea is necessarily, but what are some of your on-campus things you enjoy doing outside of your ministry?
I do definitely during the week if we don't have practice and there's a home game. Right now it's soccer, and football's on the weekends, so usually we play the same time that they play. But yeah, it's fun going to watching soccer and supporting other people that are here on campus. A lot of times I honestly just sit outside on campus at those tables outside. You'll see me there all the time and just do work. I also am an ambassador, so I give tours for missions. So,
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, let's kind of turn it back towards volleyball.
Yeah.
Kendra, do you want to kind of go through this laundry list of accomplishments?
Well, so basically all the stuff we talk about on the pregame show, right?
Much.
Yeah. No, so Morgan, I'm just going to read off some of these to start with. Obviously, 2023 you started all 31 matches. Your freshman year, you were USA South Rookie of the Year. And I'm sure you know most of the numbers yourself. The 589 digs, the 5.17 digs per set, the 56 aces, 104 assists. Your second team all conference. We'll keep going through 2024 and kind of look at the career as a whole, but just kind of talk us through your rookie year a little bit and how you were able to transition to the college game so quickly.
Yeah. I would say coming in, I was, a little nervous. It's nervous going to college, and being, just playing, for the first time around other people that have been playing. So yeah, and then we were going to Emory. We were playing Emory, which is, a ranked team, Division III, really good team. That was my first couple of matches that I played was up there at Emory with some challenging teams, really good teams. So yeah, and then I just feel like, the team was super welcoming, super open. So like, they helped me feel comfortable. And they supported me. So yeah, and also, having a coach that believes in you as well. So.
Did you have like a I made it moment? Like, was there a moment in a match early on in the year where it just kind of hit you like, oh yeah, I can hang with these guys?
No.
No.
She was just that good.
Just smooth transition, yeah.
Well, I never was like, I don't know. I'm not the type of person to be like, I don't know. I just like sometimes it's hard for me to see the good. In what I'm doing. Like as long like I see the good in the team, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think about just myself, I guess. I don't really look at the statistics. Like I just try super hard not to even if I play bad and we win, like a win's a win.
Right.
So that's like kind of what, like, and if we lose and I played super good, like we lost. Like I don't care about me playing good. It's more of the fact of like, what did the team do? Did we win? Did we lose? And like, did I do what I could to help the team? So
I was going to kind of piggyback. What did you find in that first year that was like the biggest difference between high school / club and the college level?
it is completely different.
Really?
Yes. I would just say like the pace of the games way faster. You have more girls on a team. You have a lot more girls on a team at once. Super loud. You have to be full of energy. A lot of communication. And it's also different knowing that all these people wanted to play volleyball. They didn't just go to the school and they had the opportunity to. All these people came to Greensboro to play volleyball that are on the team. I thought that was super nice as well because, sometimes in high school you have people that just play just because they want to play. It's not necessarily like they don't take it as seriously, I guess. So you just know all these people come in for the same reason. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think personally, one of my favorite things, obviously, you're fantastic to watch on the court, but one of my favorite things is your team first attitude and how you're very team centered. But I do want to ask regarding some of your personal accomplishments, especially last year. You set all these career highs, kills, assists, digs. You set conference records for digs and digs per set, and you ended up Libero of the Year, second team all conference. AVCA, honorable mention, all region. I mean, just a laundry list of accolades and accomplishments. And, just how cool was some of that? I mean, I know, in high school and in club, they don't necessarily have some of those individual accolades and stuff. Just how neat was that to kind of be able to say, hey, I did that.
Right. I mean, yeah, I guess it's definitely it gives you that boost of confidence, But like also you have to think like if it wasn't for my teammates, if I didn't have that block up there, to slow the ball down a little, or if I didn't have, those people in the front row getting the kills, like it just wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the rest of the team as well, So yeah.
Absolutely. We just figured out, of course, so we were talking earlier today that you hold the top 3 single game records for Greensboro in total digs for a game. So that's just one more accolade to add on.
I have to admit, I feel a little bit set up. She just said that she was very team centered, and then you told me I have to read all these individual accomplishments.
No, she set you up. No, it's cool to be able to, we get to talk, working here, we get to talk to a lot of athletes, and it's cool to still see, athletes that have that team first mentality, especially somebody that statistically is as decorated as you are. And hopefully, once your play career is over, you'll be able to kind of look back and celebrate, what you did. But I think it's also, like you said, Kendrick, really cool that, you recognize that you have to have the rest of your team, in order to do a lot of what you've done too.
And I think that was so evident on this past Saturday against Mary Baldwin when Evelyn Dunlap got her first 2 career kills, and just the excitement of all your guys' faces after she got that first one was just really, really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and also it's infectious. I think
It was so sweet because she was so excited as well. Like, it was just the sweetest thing ever.
And it's cool because you are leaving your mark on those freshmen. You, along with your teammates, you're extending that culture, into years to come.
Right.
They see you, and they see you as leaders. and how you act and how you react to certain situations. And so I think that's awesome. Going back to that, is there, of all the accomplishments we mentioned, is there one so far that sticks out the most, or is there one that like you're most proud of?
Or is there one you're still gunning for this year?
Yeah, there is one. I know
There's one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be cool to, get to the top of the digs list,
Yeah.
here at Greensboro College. It is hard though. I mean, this is my third year. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people play, 4 years. I still have another year of eligibility. But it's with the credits wise,
Yeah.
I'm graduating. So it's seeing how much I can do in the 3 years that I have.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, especially when you look back at it and, 20 years from now, when whoever is at Greensboro College looks back at the record books, like to do what you've done in 3 years is incredible.
You've done more in 3 than a lot of people did in 4.
Yeah. And that's not just here, that's at a lot of places. Obviously we talk a little bit about, that one more accomplishment, and that's, winning a conference championship.
Right.
You guys have started off the season really well.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you guys have a lot of chemistry. You have a very big senior class who've played a lot of ball together.
Right.
I don't want to open up a wound, but does the last couple of years, how the season ended, does that motivate you guys at all for this year? And like, are you thinking about that in terms of motivation? Or do you try to wipe that from your memory and just, focus on, hey, what we're doing right now? Does that, the last couple of years, does that kind of motivate you?
Well, yeah, I think we all have the same goal in mind, is to win that, conference championship. Obviously we fell short the past 2 years. My freshman year, we were in that conference championship. We were up 2 sets and we still lost. And then, that's tough. It really sucks. It's tough. But she just had to know, we have, the next year, then we lost in the first round. So I think that losing the first round, I feel like that really definitely motivates us. I think we also have a new coach. So it's like, we're just trying to prove to everyone that we know that we are, the best team. So I guess, we all just have that same goal, and we practice like it. We play like it. We're still working some things out. We have some new players on the team. We're just trying to figure out everything. We have a new coach, but our chemistry we're very close. I mean, we only lost Krista graduated, and we have 3 new freshmen, but they fit in very well as well. So, I mean, we're really close with each other when it comes to chemistry. So
I wanted to ask about that because, there is such a big senior class on the team this year. And, when there's a new coach right before your senior year, it's so easy to be disgruntled and say, we're all used to the way, Coach Troop did it. And he was the one that got us here and that sort of thing. It'd be so easy to kind of throw in the towel, but it seems like, under Coach Bo, you guys have continued to grow and get better. And it feels like a seamless transition. Talk a little bit about not just buying into Coach Bo's program, but also just how you as a senior class just kind of said, hey, let's do this. Let's go after it.
Yeah. So I think, when Troop left, none of us were really expecting it. It was kind of out of the blue, but, he had a great opportunity and he took it. And so then we went through the whole coaching process. And then we got Coach Bo. I feel like not many people, knew who he was or knew much about him. I know Shiflett had played for him, but other than that, no one really, knew much about him. But so it's kind of, taking a risk. Like we didn't know, we knew like the kind of person he was just from a few questions that we asked. But something that's really special about him is he cares about us as a person before a player. He tells us every day, he gives us a quote of the day, every single practice. And he just makes sure that what we're doing is being good people. At the end of the day, have we been a good person? Are we being good teammates to each other? Are we being good to the community? Are we doing things to be a good person? And I think that's really important also. Because at the end of the day, we're not all here. Someday we're not going to be playing volleyball and we're going to be in the real world. So that's important. But then also, again, he studied us very well. He studied, he was watching our old film. You know, he knew who we were. He knew how we like to play. He knew our tendencies and that kind of thing. And he came in. He didn't really try to like change us, but he just wanted to make us better. Like, why did we lose in the Meredith? Like, why did we lose to them in the first round? Like, it was those things that he did that he just wanted to make us better, and he keep growing. And I think that's really important that he didn't try to come in and mess up our team chemistry or anything. He just wanted to add to it. And I think that's really important. Him and Coach Maddie, our assistant coach, they really are awesome. They come to practice. We have a structured practice every practice. We plan for games ahead. Like, it's very well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, no, they've been great to work with, and certainly off to a good start, that's for sure. Couple more questions for you. One thing that I like to ask is, at the end of your time, obviously you're not done yet, but at the end of your time at GC, what do you want to be remembered for?
I would
It could
say
be multiple things too.
I would say one, my love for God, being that Christian person at all times, no matter what kind of situation or pressure I'm under. I want to be known for living like God. And then second, also just being like a person that's there for everyone, no matter what.
I don't want to accidentally start any sort of existential crisis or anything here, but you made a comment 2 answers ago about we're not going to be playing volleyball forever. Is that something that you and your fellow seniors talk about, or you think about, hey, I don't know, there's one day where we're not playing, competitively, we'll go play for fun or whatever, but
Right.
you don't get to play, in a way where stats are counted and conference championships, all that stuff kind of goes away one day. Is that something you guys think about and kind of say, hey, look, we have a limited amount of time. Let's leave our mark.
Yeah, I think Coach, he talks about it a lot in practice. At the beginning of this year, or the beginning of the season, he had us all in a big circle spread out around the gym. And then he would talk about our 100 days. And each milestone, he would have us take a step in. And we'd keep taking a step in until we won the conference championship when we were all together. And, he just emphasizes, like, it's the seniors, like, it's our last year, Like, it is going to go away. It is, at some point, it's going to end, and it's going to be sad, but we need to focus on where we are right now and being the best that we can be and achieving those goals that we have as a team. So, yeah, it is talked about, but then again, we try not to focus on it just because, it's sad. It's emotional.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to, think. Obviously, it's going to be on our minds, but you just got to trust, know that someday it has to end, and you've got to be in the real world, so.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I also think it's really cool that, your answer for what do you want to be remembered for didn't have anything to do with volleyball.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool because, being focused on your faith and just who you are as a person is ultimately what's going to last, right?
Right.
Yeah, the records will be there. And that's cool and all, but, people are going to remember you ultimately for who you were, so I thought that was a really awesome answer.
And even the fact of, like, within the volleyball team, but not necessarily pertaining to volleyball, you talk about having an impact on freshmen. Who knows? 3 years from now, one of your teammates this year could be telling a freshman as a senior, hey, when I was a freshman, there was this girl on our team, Morgan, and she taught me this, and that's really neat.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure, yeah.
What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in health science with a minor in exercise science and biology.
Gotcha. So I know we talked about before that you don't quite know what you want to do yet, but
Yeah.
what are some ideas floating around in your mind as to what you might want to do?
You said you had 500 options. Let's rank them.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay.
I don't have any order. I am finishing my 4-year degree in 3 years.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I have another year of eligibility. You could go that route. Use the other year of eligibility. What would I do? I don't know what I would do class-wise. Masters, I don't know. I could apply to, like, an OT program, do that route, or PT, OT, or PT. I could just teach. So, I would just have to do the teaching classes, as I'm, like, TAing or something. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's cool that you've got options, and hopefully, too, that you got time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to rush into anything. Have you ever considered coaching?
Not as like a full-time
Yeah.
career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe like if I was a teacher or something, I could do it, at a high school
Yeah.
or something. But I've never really thought about it as like at a college level.
Yeah.
So
No, gotcha.
What was, just out of curiosity, because I think it's funny when, people get to their either college graduation or slightly after, and they get into the real world and they talk about, just the stresses of it all. But it's funny to look back when you were a little kid. What was the first thing you remember wanting to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be? I always just remember my parents saying I'm going to be a teacher.
Okay.
That's all I remember. I don't remember necessarily what I wanted to be. I know, like, high school-wise, it was a physical therapist.
Okay.
I wanted to be a physical therapist. Other than that, like, when I was younger, I don't really remember.
So you've always been interested by health and
Yeah.
that sort of thing? Yeah.
But then again, now I'm leaning towards teaching.
Right.
So
Yeah. It was meant to be.
I
Your parents knew.
know.
What drew you to the medical side or the medical field?
I don't know, really. I just thought, there were so many interesting options that you could do in the medical field, and you're always helping someone, no matter what route you took. My sister's a pharmacist. I always thought that was cool, but then I saw the school she went through, and I was like, absolutely not. No, she was always studying all the time. I could not. And then I did an internship at Cone Health in radiology. And I didn't really like the hospital setting that much. It just wasn't really for me. And I've done an internship at physical therapy, and I like it. But then again, it's a lot of school as well.
Mhm.
So that's kind of, where I'm at. But even if I am teaching, like, I could still be there and help others in a different kind of way. So,
Yeah, awesome. Well, Morgan, we appreciate you so much. It's been really cool to get to know you some more, and obviously still not done on the volleyball court. Still got some things to accomplish, but Kendrick, I think we had a pretty good time here with old Mo.
I think so, and I'm sure if there's any postscript to this podcast, we'll have you on a post-game interview, hopefully
Yeah, there you
celebrating a championship
Yep.
before too long.
hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, Mo, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming on the podcast, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, stay tuned for more Getting to Know podcasts throughout the rest of this year. And Mo, thanks again so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank y'all.